Today's topic is mission for your business. So let me get straight into it. Now, what's your mission for your business? In the previous series I spoke about a vision. In other words, what you want your business to become. The mission component of this is really to find out how you're going to get your vision into a reality. In other words, what are you going to do to make your dream or your vision into a reality? What type of business are you going to operate? What type of product are you going to sell? What type of staff are you going to have? What type of operation are you going to be running? Now, with this, it's important to, number one, be real about it. In other words, a lot of people have got, a fantastic vision in front of them, but unfortunately, logistically, it's, quite hard to do. And often it isn't just because of normal logistics, but often it's just, things like, finances aren't, up to the equivalent of making that vision happen. Now, I'm not saying that it can't happen. Absolutely it can. Though some people, it's important that, in their mission, that they really put the detail into it to understand how they're going to make that dream or that vision into a reality. So, to give you an example, if you want to run a big store with, 50 or 60 staff, well, if you're a startup business, obviously you're going to need some funding with that. So, the mission would be try to secure the funding first, so you can then supplement all those people and all the employees and the premises and everything that goes with it to make your vision a reality. So the first component is it's important to be real with this. Now, the second component is it's important that you write a blueprint out for this. So in your mission, it's important to detail exactly how you're going to make your vision or your business into reality. I often find that this ties in really well with goal setting. In other words, if your vision is, for your business that you're going to grow to a certain size, move to a certain premises, deliver a certain type of product or service, and the mission is how you're going to get there, usually, linking in goal setting with that works out really well. And we're going to be speaking about that in another series. Now, in saying that, when you have a detailed blueprint, you can actually see the steps that you need to take in order to create that vision and make it a reality. So the second component is really have a detailed blueprint for it. Now, and the third phase to this is test and measure. It's important that you test and measure your mission components, especially, to make sure that you can get there. Let me give you an example. So in 1962, when John F. Kennedy said, let's go to the moon, what he said is we were actually going to do this by the turn of the century. And in 1969, in July, we heard the famous words, the eagle has landed. Now, in saying that, the mission component was looked after by NASA. In other words, they built a spacecraft in order for, humans to get from, our planet to the moon. Now, in that mission, they tested and measured all along the way. So they started with what's called the Gemini projects. In other words, they had X amount of rockets that did what they did, and then they, moved over to the Apollo projects. So along the way, they had, different types of rockets, different types of astronauts, testing and measuring all the way, and guess what? They finally made that happen. Now, in saying that, once they did that, they could replicate that. In other words, after, Apollo 11, there was all the way the Apollos up to Apollo 17, and then they haven't sort of been there since. Now, in saying that, once they figured out their mission and they created it, they actually made that vision into reality. So let's sum it up. Number one is it's important to be real about your mission and make sure that it works well to make your vision happen. Number two is it's important to write a blueprint down. And number three, it's always important to test and measure, every component of this. I hope you enjoyed this series. I'm Nick Seiler. And if you'd like to check out some more, you can check me out on Twitter, on Facebook, or you can have a look at my website. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day.